What if I told you Treyarch had a fully developed wonder weapon plan for Black Ops 6 Zombies' Shattered Veil that seemingly got scrapped for one reason or another? This is the X52 Resonator, a Project Janus energy weapon that people have speculated was planned for either the Tomb because of its design or Shattered Veil because of its similarities to the Ray Gun Mark IIs we wound up with. From its insane full auto anomaly fire to a 7-round burst variant and even a charged sniper version, this thing could have arguably been the most unique wonder weapon we saw during Black Ops 6 Zombies' life cycle. That's the bad news, but the good news is it's been repurposed for every mode in Black Ops 6 and will be available for everyone to unlock and use on any map as part of the Echoes of the Damned event here in Season 6. Today we're diving deep into all of the X52's abilities, how it works, which variant is the best, and most importantly, is it worth unlocking? Before we get into it, drop a like and subscribe if you're new for everything Call of Duty Zombies, as we're officially a month away from the launch of Black Ops 7 Zombies. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Starting off with the base version, the X52 Resonator fires a full auto anomaly, basically an energy projectile similar to the SMG mode from the Chrysalax on Forsaken. It has an insane rate of fire and really strong range, but you pay for that power with brutal recoil control and ammo drain. You spawn in with 70 rounds in the mag and 192 in reserve, and if you held down trigger for too long, that ammo drains quickly, meaning you'll have to hit the ammo crate to replenish it very often. Now when you pack a punch it becomes the Cosmic Harbinger, which is an awesome nod to the Shadow Man from the Ether storyline. Also could be a hint for what's to come in Black Ops 7 at some point, who knows. But the Cosmic Harbinger bumps your ammo to 100 in the mag and 400 in the reserve, giving it more sustain, but is it still a bullet-hungry monster? The answer is yes, but the saving grace is Vulture Aid. Once you pick up Vulture Aid, you can fully sustain ammo until the mid-30s, however that's when things start to get very dicey again. By this point in the mid-30s, the Resonator will start to fall off. It's still viable, but no longer the powerhouse you'd expect from an alien wonder weapon. In short, the base X52 shredded early and mid-rounds, but struggled to scale into true late-game territory. Next up is the first variant, the Spiked Barrage Shard, and this one's certainly a wild design choice. Instead of full auto, this variant converts the Resonator into a 7-round burst weapon. At first glance, it feels a little clunky, the velocity's slow, and the burst pattern wastes a ton of ammo on the low rounds in early game situations. But once you pack a punch it, everything changes and the Spiked Barrage becomes a 7-round shredder. Add double tap and it turns into a mid-round melter capable of deleting hordes before they even reach you. Ammo capacity matches the base variant, 70 rounds with 192 in reserve, but then once you pack a punch it, again it converts over to 100 over 400 after packing. But here's where this one really stood out to me, its ammo efficiency. Because of the burst fire behavior, you don't chew through ammo nearly as fast as the base Resonator after it's pack-a-punched. This makes it a fantastic point building weapon by not having to pick up ammo every few seconds, and it's a go-to for anyone running mid-round setups or farming for perks and armor. In my opinion, this is easily one of the top tier variants of the X52. It's got high damage, manageable ammo, and that perfect balance between spray and pray chaos and deliberate control. Now here's where things get really interesting. This next variant is called the Orbed Eruption Shard. This variant converts the Resonator into a multi-shot weapon that fired 5 projectiles at once. When you hip fire, the shots fan out like a mini shotgun blast, but when you aim down sights, they converge on the same point for tighter precision. If it kind of sounds familiar in the gameplay, looks like you've seen this weapon before, it's basically the same as the Diffuser Cerberus variant from Cold War Zombies. You start with just 15 bullets in the mag and 190 in reserve. It's pretty limited, and yeah, you'll be reloading a lot early on. But once you pack a punch it, you got the same ammo capacity as the other variants, 100 in the mag and 400 in reserve. The major difference between the first few variants and the shotgun one is ammo longevity. You almost never run dry because of the weapon's multi-hit system, which was designed for efficiency. Using hipfire in tight areas lets you hit multiple zombies at once, while the ADS shots are perfect for hitting elite enemies and bosses. This version makes the Resonator feel tactically diverse, a hybrid between crowd control and boss damage. Although it's certainly better than the base version, I feel like it's still just not quite as good as a 7-round burst, which is crazy to me because I initially thought that for sure the 7-round burst one would be worthless, but so far it's holding up as, in my opinion, the best one out of all the different variants. The final variant, the Stone Escalation Shard, flips the entire weapon archetype on its head. It turns the Resonator into a charge-based sniper rifle, firing a single devastating energy shot after a brief delay. On paper, it had the highest raw damage output of all the variants, the true heavy hitter of the group. But in practice, it honestly just doesn't really keep up. Even with double tap, the fire rate is painfully slow, and the charge shot leaves you completely exposed in chaotic rounds. To make matters worse, it struggled to break armor on tougher enemies, meaning you'd often need multiple shots just to down elites. It's honestly not a bad variant, like it's still fun to use and it's certainly different from the other three. Like the other three kind of all feel not the same because they obviously fire and do very different things, but this one just feels like it's a completely different weapon compared to the other ones, and you can tell that Treyarch was experimenting with giving players a more deliberate, high-risk playstyle, but in a fast-paced mode like modern zombies, this one simply just doesn't compete with the rest of them. All right, now let's rank them, starting with the best variant in my opinion, all the way down to the worst. Again, this is my own personal opinion based on the gameplay that I showed on screen and that I went through over the other day. In my opinion, I think the best one out of all of these is the 7-round burst variant. This really surprised me and was honestly pretty shocking. Like I said, because, you know, with the 7-round burst on the low rounds, you're basically wasting so much ammo trying to kill zombies because you'll kill the last one of the round, you blow through 6 more bullets without having to stop. So you kind of have to buy some ammo in the lower rounds as you're working your way up to Pack-a-Punch. But once you Pack-a-Punch it, it really does turn into an absolute menace. I think this could carry you easily to the health cap. It starts to fall off just like when all the other variants do in the late 30s, early 40s. But if you really push through, you could get there to 55 with no problem, in my opinion. It's also really good for taking down elites. I think the second best variant out of the 4 is definitely the shotgun one. This one is a little bit weaker in my opinion compared to the 7-round burst. Even though it does obviously like the same damage, it just doesn't feel like it's doing as much. You don't run out of ammo nearly as quickly as you do with the other variants, but for whatever reason I just couldn't get behind this one. It's not like elite for taking down the elite zombies either, so I mean it's a cool one to use, definitely the second best in my opinion, but I don't think it clears the 7-round burst. Now for the third best variant, second to worst if you want to look at it negatively, I would have to say it's the base variant. This one, again, is super fun to use. It's a full auto machine. It just shreds through everything in the lower rounds to like mid rounds, but because of the lack of ammo, because of how quickly you blow through ammo, and then once you pick up double tap, you're going to be sitting there buying ammo round after round once you get into the 30s, which kind of sucks. You know, even with Vulture, it doesn't really help you too much. So again, this is a fun one to use. It's the base version, so this is the one you'll start with, but I would, you know, move off of this one for any of the other ones, except for the one that I think is the worst, which is the charged sniper shot. I don't know if this one's bugged because it's not currently in the game. It doesn't reload properly. I wonder if the ammo's messed up, but even then it just doesn't feel good. Like even with double tap, it shoots way too slow. It does a high amount of damage against elite zombies and regular zombies, which is nice, but it struggles to break armor much like the rest of the weapons. So, you know, once you get into the 30s and the 40s, you're dealing with armored zombies that take maybe 1 or 2 shots to crack, and then you get to their critical spots. You know, when you're going up against manglers, it's almost impossible to kill them. You know, you got 4 shots to their armor before you break through to the head. So, in my opinion, from best to worst, I'd have to go with the 7-round burst first, the shotgun variant second, the regular base version, the full auto third, and then the sniper at fourth. In the end, the X52 Resonator could have been one of the most ambitious wonder weapons in Black Ops 6 Zombies had it stayed as one. Each shard offers something unique, from the spiked barrage's burst fire destruction to the Orbed eruption's tactical flexibility, all the way to the stone escalation's heavy shot precision. In my opinion, it's kind of rare to see this level of design in a cut wonder weapon, and it really makes you think what else is sitting unfinished in Treyarch's archives or were bumped to Black Ops 7 Zombies. They could have easily buffed the damage in Zombies to make it a true S-tier weapon to rival the Maelstrom, as this is probably going to be the last like real weapon that we see come in here throughout the rest of the year, and for Black Ops 6's life cycle in general. In my opinion, I personally would have loved to see this come as the super Easter egg reward for Black Ops 6. Like I said, they could have buffed the damage here, made this really just like the best wonder weapon in the game or one of the best wonder weapon sets in the game, made it rival the Maelstrom, and then you'd be able to equip it and use it on any map. I think that would have been the perfect way to go about this like last super Easter egg. It would have been something nobody would have seen coming, but alas, it's just part of the normal event. Regardless, it's still a super fun weapon to use, and you'll have a ton of fun with it when it releases in the Echoes of the Damned event on the 16th. I would personally pick this up if you've been a fan of Black Ops 6 Zombies. If you don't have the game installed, honestly, it might be worth it just to come back and get this. So at some point in the future, maybe either if they have carry forward or if they, you know, release like a super egg across all the maps and you want to come back and try these, it would be a nice weapon to have at some point in the future. It could be pretty fun, but overall, guys, I would say it's definitely like a B plus A tier weapon. It's not like the best in the world, but it probably is one of the most fun ones to use. It's right up there with the MP40, right up there with the Maelstrom in terms of just how fun it is. And honestly, it's got really cool inspecs and animations. So in my opinion, I would go for it. If you still have the game installed, probably won't take you very much. I think in the event, it's actually like one of the first challenges that you unlock in the event. So you don't have to complete the entire thing if you don't want like the mastery camo or you don't want to play for too long. You can just hop on, get one event done, crank it out real quick, and then have this weapon either to grind yourself or you can just let it sit there and maybe come back to it in a different time. Let me know in the comments below which variant you'll be using and whether you think the Resonator should have rivaled the Maelstrom as a top tier meta weapon. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I've got more deep dives into cut zombies content and Black Ops 7 previews coming very soon. Stay safe, stay hydrated, have a good rest of your day. Peace.